Hello, traders. Good morning. Welcome to this live webinar. My name is Chris Forsyth from Elite Currency. And as usual, we're going to dive into automated trading and ECS updates in general. So feel free to use the chat, of course, to reach out with any of your questions. We also have a Google form that you can use to ask questions, give comments beforehand during the week, just so that non-urgent things that don't require our immediate response, you can use the Google form for that. We'll add a link in the chat box and in the YouTube video so that we can share the answer with multiple people. All right, so feel free to do that. All right, let's take a look. First of all, I wanted to tell you that we are going through a drawdown with Ultima EA at this moment. Unfortunately, we had quite an interesting start of October, but has been going down ever since, as you can see here. And because of that, as I mentioned last week, we want to offer a benefit, extra advantage for keeping the capital on trading Ultima with a 10% discount if you keep your net deposit the same now as you did before the drawdown. So if you decide to withdraw, it would not be applicable or valid for you. But if you keep the deposit on the account, if you keep the same capital without withdrawing, basically, then we're giving a 10% profit share reduction when of course the profit is reached. If there's no profit this week, of course, this month, then of course there's no profit to be shared. But once we get into a position that there is a profitable month and a new equity high, then there would be a 10% profit share reduction. So if you have currently 30%, it would be 20%. If you have currently 25% because you're trading with more capital, it would be 15%, right? 25 minus 10. So that's basically as a thank you for sticking around and not giving up basically during the drawdown. All right, that's the reason for that. So let's hope we can use that benefit, that you can use that benefit soon, and we have a profitable month. Maybe even this month, we don't know. I mean, it's down at the moment, of course. Let's take a look. Minus 11%, but yeah, we still have about 3.5 days left, almost 4 days, let's say. So things can still change. Of course, we don't know how it's going to end up. There's not that much time remaining, but there's still some time. So let's see. A week from now, we'll find out what the final score was for October. Currently, with the profit share members, it's apparently 11.04 at this moment, minus 11.04. One trade is open at this point. So let's see. I wanted to add a few more other comments about the drawdown that Mislav Nikolic wanted to inform you as well. Looking at the various risk sizes, whether we're trading, this account is trading with 5% risk per setup, which is I mentioned here. Of course, that's the most riskiest approach possible. So the drawdown at this point is anywhere about 40 to 45%. With the profit share members, it's apparently about 40%. With the Mislav's account, it's a little bit more, apparently 46-ish percent, 45.8 to be precise. So the maximum historical drawdown in the last years, going about 4 years, okay, is about 55%. So we're getting closer to that maximum, but we're not yet over it, okay? So it's still within the parameters of what we've seen the last few years. So yeah, these drawdowns, specifically when trading 5% per risk per setup, can certainly test the nerves and patience, and we fully understand that. We have the same. It's not easy to live through that. But if it stays within the parameters, hopefully there's still going to be a turnaround soon. Let's see. With 3% risk per setup, the drawdown is about 34.7%, whereas the max is typically 36. So it's a bit closer to the historical max. And with 1% risk per setup, although we don't offer that at this moment, but we do keep an eye on it, the drawdown is 9.85, so almost 10% basically, whereas the historical max is 13%. So it's still some space before hitting the max drawdown there. At this moment, Elite Currency is able to offer both 3% and 5%. So if you feel that 5% is too volatile, it might be worth considering 3%. Maybe one day we'll open up 1%, but it would be only for larger deposits though, so it might not help all of you in that case. But in any case, if it does go, what happens in our view if the account were to go over the max drawdown? Well, in that case, we're considering reducing basically taking a strategic pause perhaps with the EA, but or reducing the risk. But at this moment, it's something that is not something we need to decide right at the moment, because specifically the profit share members, it's still a decent space away from the 55 level. We reached 55 level once in July, as you can see here. Now we're back at about 39, so it still has some space to go. All right. At this moment, you can take a look at the equity curve, and you see basically that it's going sideways. It's in a range, and we have our own accounts have that too. We can take a look at, for instance, Mislav's account. Of course, Ultima EA created by Mislav Nikolic, and let's take a look at his account. So that the offer of a 10% discount has been communicated through email. So you should have received the email, as Raj already indicated, either recently or soon if you haven't already. As I mentioned last week, it took a little bit longer to send the email because the broker needs to do that. Actually, so that's why it took a little bit longer. With relative high, what we just mean basically a new high, a new account high, so that there's a point where profit is shared. The next profit share moment, actually, basically, to keep it simple. And so his account a little bit different here, but let's take a look at the drawdown. You can see that it's kind of going sideways indeed here for the moment. Since we reached the peak at the end of May, it's been going sideways basically. So anyone who started the last months, specifically traders in June, very unlucky moment to start beginning of June, because that was the peak. So even traders that started at the beginning of May was quite a peak. So the starting spot will determine a lot. If you started beginning of October, whereas if you started maybe beginning of July, you're about break even. It's not that bad, right? If you started somewhere mid-April, you also break even. And that also might be difficult because you've been trading it now for several months, and it's at break even. That's also not that easy, So we definitely understand that. Let's see how it develops. This is all still within the parameters of what we think is normal, so that's good. But we'll have to see, of course, how things develop, and if things go beyond those parameters, of course, we will be communicating that and letting you know, and then communicating our thoughts, how to move forward after that. But as this point as yet, yes, it requires a lot of patience, and that's certainly something we understand, but it's still within the parameters. And also we need to see first, of course, how October formally finalizes, if you see what I mean. Regarding Mislav drawdown, a little bit more here at just a bit above 40. It looks like 45-ish indeed, 45. So he's somehow has a bit more drawdown. All right. Anything else I wanted to say? Diversification, of course, never hurts. Trade, we have Rush.EA from Mislav Nikolic as well. And we have both Ultima and Rush with 3 and 5%. So varying the risk could help the nerves, right? Becoming a little bit more diversified, I think, is always good. There's also LOA.EA from Elite Currency and Zeus.EA from Elite Currency as well to diversify those risks. For instance, with LOA, we had an unpleasant start, but it's been making a pretty nice rebound here. This EA is going to be slower. It's going to take time. Just like with Ultima EA, it's the results. You don't want to evaluate on a monthly basis, not even on a quarterly basis, more on a yearly basis, to be honest. And you can see why. It's just, it takes time for it to develop and to show that positive equity curve. But we have faith in this EA that it's going to show that in a year's time. Now it's made some nice up move recently on both of our accounts. The Zeus.EA, still stable and steady as it goes. This is the profit share module. And continuing nicely to the upside here. Again, a positive month. Stable. And Rush.EA had a good rebound from beginning of September, end of August, and moved up quite a lot actually in September, almost 100%. This one's slightly down on my account, at least 22. I'm trading this with the max risk. I think it's 5% risk, if I remember. Yes, so it's the most risky version. All right, so depending if you start at the beginning of September like Mislav did, you'll be up, as you can see, compared to the low. I started actually at the moment that there was a drawdown. So this is an account that had an unlucky starting moment, and those things can happen, of course, that can impact how it looks like. So it needs more time. We need 2-3 more months to see, more data and more long-term perspective. It's still early for this EA, but certainly shows what it can do in September. Otherwise, Rush.EA testing. Mislav did slightly updated testing with one change regarding the TP, and looking very good here. This is with 5% risk, as you can see. A bit slower summer, good September, a bit slower October as well as in live trading. But before that, it was just very, very strong, even during the COVID problems, let's say, and economic consequences of that. Very strong results here, 186, almost 300, 123, 72. And here as well, a couple of minuses as well, but overall very strong performance. So I hope to see that the same gains in real life. But of course, we had it in September with 89, but hope to see more of that soon. But this is with 5% risk, as you can see, very aggressive way of trading. Don't get me wrong, drawdown could be very high. Want to really, really emphasize that. Okay, but it's a high risk, potentially high reward kind of approach. With 3% risk, those levels, the targets, the average, of course, goes down, and the drawdown goes slightly down. Okay, and then we don't offer this at the moment, but just to give you an idea about the 1%, here it's about 500%, just shy of 500 in almost 2 years of back testing, with drawdown going down to 23%. Maybe we'll offer this one day if there's enough interest in it. But so yeah, that's a quick update here with a few days left in October. So yeah, hopefully you can use that benefit of getting the discount soon. I hope even this month, but of course, there's just a few days left. No questions in the Google form. Let me see if there are any questions in the live webinar. Nothing added as yet. Good. So what else can we talk about? Let me check my list. Nothing specific. Well, basically, update from me is, I'm working with 3 teams actually to develop more EAs. We have one EA that is close to 1 year of live testing already. So we might be adding that in the near future, a 5th EA. And the reason why we do that is just diversification. I think it's the same with stocks. You, as a stock trader, for long-term investing, I wouldn't buy just one stock. I mean, I don't think that's good. I mean, you don't need to buy 100 stocks in my view, at least, but one is quite risky, right? I think everyone kind of agrees with that. So some diversification is good in sectors and such. So yeah, that's just basically what we're doing. I mean, ideally, in my view, I would like to have 10 EAs and just put 10% of my capital on each EA and have a nice diversification. So even if one EA fully loses, it would just be 10%. So that's the kind of the end goal, at least. Maybe more, I don't know. But 10 would be nice. Now, we're not there yet, but we're working on it. And I hope to get there soon. We have, as I said, one other live account, system that's been almost for a year. So I think when we reach a year milestone, it's okay. The thing is that that system we cannot backtest. It's only with live trading. That's why we're waiting literally for a year because it's the only data we have. Whereas with these other systems, we have lengthy backtesting plus a little bit of live trading, so it's a little bit different. So yeah, at the moment, there's the availability of Ultima, Rush.EA, Zeus.EA, LOA.EA. Those are 4. With this one coming up, it'll be 5. So with those 3 teams that I'm working with, our goal is to add 5 more. I'm not sure if we're going to make it. As I said, so far I've not been very fast with the EA creation to be fully transparent, but I hope to turn the tide and be a little bit faster now. But even if it's just 1 or 2 that is added, still better than nothing. Still good diversification. Claudia, yeah, that's only applicable for if you don't withdraw, as far as I know. But I'm not. I mean, I can double check. I know that you've been very, from the very start with us, and so and I think that you withdrew before this announcement a while ago already. So I think you did. I think it was I don't know, 10 days or 2 weeks ago. So I will double check the exact rules, but I think it's from the moment that we had made the announcement, not counting anything before that. Okay, so I think that's fair because you didn't know about it, so you can't be. I think it's unfair to be punished for something that you didn't know about, right, 10 days ago, in my view at least. But I have to double check. I think that is fair. I'm going to do my best to make that happen because I think it's just logical, and I think that's the way it's set up. But I don't want to overpromise, and so I just double check that. But I think that makes sense because the announcement was made maybe yesterday or today. I think somewhere this week, I believe, and should be applied to from now on or from this week onwards, for those withdrawals. But that's the goal, that we give this incentive so that people hang in there through the drawdown. Hopefully it is, of course, going to be a drawdown and we see a bounce up. We never know. That's the thing with trading, always a risk, but Yes, of course, Claudia, definitely. Raj, it's a big difference, 10%. But yeah, we first have to get into profitable territory, of course. Raj, would this be communicated to us? Earlier withdrawals. Would this be communicated to us? Not sure what you mean. This not sure what you mean with that. I'm not sure how the email looked like because it was sent by the broker. We couldn't do that ourselves. I will write it in here in this webinar chat. Okay, as soon as I get an answer, maybe I don't know. Hopefully within an hour. All right, folks. I guess that's it. Well, thank you for your patience. I truly hope we get a bounce, and the drawdown is again behind us. It's unfortunately going to be something that is going to be a regular part of trading with such a risk. Nothing we can do about it. If it's too much to handle, then I would try. I mean, maybe better to diversify. It's in any case good to diversify. Try to trade it with different risks and such. That's the best, I think. So yeah, thanks again. See you very soon, and good trading. Cheers. Bye bye.